happens to those people? They have been given a purpose.
I don't know if y'all ever been to Fantastic Fest before, but we really embrace movies like this, and so to see the audience kind of react to it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. It was really great. One of the things I wanted to ask about is that this is a film to me like it feels like y'all like when I was a kid you would play these play War Down the Street, and this is a movie that feels straight out of that, like playing war with your buddies.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about the kind of the team building exercises y'all kind of had to come together with this movie.
Trust fall circle.
No,
we had an amazing boot camp. Yeah, truth or dare. We had an amazing boot camp that was headed up by this guy, Freddie Joe Farnsworth, who's a retired sergeant from the Marines, U.S. Marines, and we showed up. None of us knew each other. They threw us in a van, went off to the country, and started boot camp for about a week. It really made us bond. It made us start to understand each other. We were learning our weapons and learning the skills of being an airborne soldier of World War II. But most of all, it just brought us together as a team and as friends. So it was nice. We became friends.
Became quick buddies.
Yeah.
One of the things about this film that I love is it also feels like it's one of those films straight out of 1980s. When you go to rent a video store and you look at this really kick-ass cover on the video, it's like, I want to see that.
Yeah.
And so you grab it off the rack. And I wanted to ask about it. Did y'all find any inspiration from movies like that or war films?
It does have that kind of B movie quality to it somewhere and stuff.
But not even B. Like I think you're actually the two things you've just said. Like as a kid growing up playing soldiers and the 80s. What?
You're going.
I'm gonna cut you off. And the 80s thing. It's like that's how I always saw it. It's like that's what makes it
a nostalgia to it. Yeah.
And the nostalgia I think comes. The nostalgia I think comes.
We're really on the same page. We just finish each other's
sandwiches.
Yeah, sandwiches. I think that the nostalgia comes from the type of filmmaking that they chose to do, which was practical rather than CGI. All the stuff that makes it harder to do when you're doing it, but like John said earlier, it makes it easier in a way because all the stuff's right in front of you. You're not looking at anything that's not there.
Yeah.
And that, I think, there's a nostalgic element that you'll feel, but it's not necessarily meant to be nostalgic just because that's how they used to make movies. And we made this movie, oddly, certain respects we didn't, but most of the time they did, where everything was practical. And that's the way it was in the 80s and 90s for the most part.
Your character, Wyatt, is a lot of fun, and you seem to be having a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
Where did you pull from that?
Honestly, I didn't watch a lot of movies with guys like that because I didn't want to get in my head some version of a person that I'd be copying or trying to play. This movie was really different than a lot of movies that I've seen, specifically. So what I did was I would like run on the treadmill or on the elliptical or work out, and I'd watch a bunch of American History Channel documentary about World War II. You listen to World War II vets talk just to embody somewhat of what the character portrayed and what he meant to the history of the film, so that you could portray the person correctly. All the other stuff followed. But I did just sort of inundate myself with World War II documentaries to get an idea of what they looked like, what they felt like, what they maybe talked like, how they maybe would have felt, but not any specific movies to go, yeah, that's what it will be like.
Well, I thought it was a terrific film. I think it's going to get a lot of legs. I think a lot of people are going to really embrace it because to me it felt like a film that I would pop in on a Saturday and just beers and popcorn and have a good time with it.
Hope so. Got to go to the movies to experience this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't get beer as much at the movies. You can go to the Draft House and get beers.
Yeah,
so.
you go to the Draft House. There's a few places in LA too I've gone to where you can get beers.
More and more now. You can get beer.
Good deal. It's a beer movie. So.
It's a beer movie.
How do you feel? I feel really good. Holy Christ.